thanks for being here.
Yep.
You've been around a while, but still a kid. Am I right about that?
I didn't ask for this. It's funny that I can't talk. No, I know.
Like, can you tell when you're making someone else uncomfortable?
No, I don't ever want to make anyone feel uncomfortable. It's so weird to just be yourself when you like have no idea how to do that.
Hollywood is full of its own set of characters. People who are either chameleons, able to adapt to whatever role they're given and revert back to their natural selves.
Many stars, having struggled to become famous, then abjure the fame. Does it bother you?
No, it's not a burden as such.
Or those who have sort of morphed into their own typecast.
Like your necklace here?
Thanks, it was my grandma's.
But what if you were neither? What if you had the talent and you had the range, but were able to carve out a massively successful career out of just being yourself?
And you had a stroke. That's what I remember.
Yes, let's talk about that again.
Someone will die.
Of fun.
Kill, kill, kill. You old people. I need my diaper changed. So many mistakes. Not happy with my life. I am.
Are you on medication? Some sort of
Oh, I'm on. Oh no, not for the
It's rare you see actors with an off-screen persona that rivals any character they've portrayed on screen. Anna Kendrick, Joaquin Phoenix, and Jennifer Lawrence to name a few. But Joaquin's personality was the product of a turbulent upbringing and a resentment towards fame.
During that time in which you're most vulnerable, there are helicopters flying over, there are people that are trying to sneak onto your land.
Anna Kendrick and Jennifer Lawrence are a bit more outwardly expressive and can often command the attention of a room by flexing their unfiltered charm.
I feel like nobody wants to hear me talk.
I want to hear. Here.
Here's the real deal. It's a nightmare in here.
Yet, there's one actress who seems to command an almost cult-like following through being both outwardly blunt.
My sole purpose in the movie is to have sex with him. And his...
Really, to have sex with Robert De Niro?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, God. He's at least 4 times your age.
Okay.
And painfully awkward.
I'm not claustrophobic. I like being in small confined spaces. And I like the feeling of like being crushed. If I had to choose a way to die, not that I don't.
This isn't a carefully curated persona, rather it's the product of an intensely introverted and anxious personality.
I just always have this like existential crisis whenever I go on those shows. In my mind, I'm like, none of these people care about what I did over the summer.
It's apparent even in her earlier interviews.
She hates Scott Pilgrim with a passion and lets him know it every time she's on screen.
The thing is, she's no stranger to either the stage or a live audience. Since around 2004, she'd been sharpening her skills doing improv, sketch comedy, and the occasional stand-up. Even when breaking into the industry, her trademark demeanor was still clearly present.
Did you just ask me if I like music?
Yeah, I'm aware that's a weird
It's like asking me if I like food.
Yet, despite the experience and newly found career traction, she was still the same Aubrey Plaza. Typically, within an industry so fast-paced, you're forced to adapt in an effort to stay afloat. There's an immense amount of stress that comes with trying to compete with thousands of individuals who either seem more charismatic, have better connections, or are simply just lucky. She's made it clear that she's no stranger to feelings of inadequacy or doubt.
I was just like, at any moment, like they're gonna like discover that I'm a complete fraud.
Experiencing levels of stress that at times can be completely debilitating. Given that this industry is so cosmetic, so well polished and put together, you begin to sympathize that much more. Like Aubrey, a lot of us struggle with the anxiety that comes with any large amount of attention, and as a result, we're often defensive.
Off. I don't hate anybody.
Social media is packed with knee-jerk cynical takes and constant scolding.
Oh God, I'm scared of Reddit. I'm scared.
We're afraid to be outwardly vulnerable. It's just far more convenient to be a critic. I think some of that is reflected in these interviews or characters.
Give me a break, I don't even know you. This is the longest conversation we've ever had.
We find ourselves drawn to her because she represents a lot of the behaviors that run contrary to the well put together image of Hollywood stars.
Show me your ring.
To put it simply, she seems just like us.
There's this paparazzi picture of Hugh Jackman, and I think we have it here. And if you look in the background, you're just there eating.
She can win a room over and command attention without even really trying.
I don't know what you're talking about. You guys are insane.
However, before the fame would come the struggle.
In the place that I was, which was nowhere, had literally gotten fired from a waitressing job, and I was struggling, not knowing what I was gonna do.
Fortunately, where some casting directors would see an uncomfortable, overly subtle attempt at deadpan humor, others would see an authentic goldmine.
You know, I had nothing going on for me. Like, sure, like, I'll go to whatever meeting you want, lady. I don't give a shit. And then
Michael Schur, one of the executive producers on Parks and Rec, got a call from the casting director, Allison Jones, and she said, I've just met the weirdest person in the world and I'm sending her to you.
I pitched him the character, basically, and then he was like, okay, and then...
There was something so unique about her, so oddly captivating, so much so that it seemed like her first massive role in Parks and Rec was already set in stone.
In the original pilot script, the character's named Aubrey. They changed it to April right before we started shooting.
April Ludgate was Aubrey Plaza 2.0.
Okay, I will Photoshop his face.
Can you Photoshop your life with better decisions, Jerry?
Okay.
She had the deadpan delivery, the uncomfortable stare, and arguably some of the best comebacks in the entire show.
Hey, Anne, are you still a nurse, or did they fire you because you slept with all the doctors? Do you want to try that again?
Hey, I'm thinking about getting a new phone. Do you guys like your phones?
I've never used a phone in my life.
You guys will never believe what I just found on Jerry's Facebook.
A friend.
Even better was the security and stability that came with a recurring role, in collaboration alongside an all-star cast. With her short-term future seemingly secured, she could focus on other projects, and so she would. Later in that year, she'd land a role as Seth Rogen's love interest in Funny People.
So I guess we will go to the show together.
Not anymore.
You serious?
No, I'll go.
Oh, okay.
Once again showcasing her trademark attitude. This would be kicked up to a 10 a year later with Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
You know what? Maybe it's high time you took a look in the mirror before you wreak havoc on another girl.
Just really aggressive. I don't know why it was just so easy for me to do that.
It was here where people started to really pay attention to her off-screen presence. These unpredictable moments made her a clear standout, and given the cult following Scott Pilgrim would develop on then booming social media sites like Tumblr and Twitter, they'd begin spreading like wildfire.
That's right, I'm half Puerto Rican. And then I have a lively Irish Catholic side of my family.
Which do you prefer?
Both. I mean, there's just so much alcohol either way you go, so.
She was now on the radar of not only Hollywood executives, but a complete social media darling.
It's really me. I tweet myself. I wouldn't even know how to have anyone else do it because I don't remember the password.
I mean, people were throwing themselves at this woman.
I would sacrifice my firstborn for Aubrey Plaza. God, I would do anything just to smell her hair.
There was even a trend where individuals would, oddly enough, bait her into being rude.
I was standing somewhere on the street and a couple came up from behind me and they were like, you're her, say something mean. And I went, leave me alone. And then they started laughing and they didn't go away. And they were like, do it again. And I was like, leave me the alone.
This trendy typecast allowed her to find an abundance of other work, exactly the kind of stability she was looking for. There was just one lingering problem. This was essentially the same role, just turned up or down a notch every time. When you're breaking in, typecast roles seem heaven-sent. They provide a foundation for you to both stay afloat and effectively network in a wildly competitive industry.
Funny People, Parks and Recreation, and Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. I had all of those meetings in 1 week and I ended up getting all 3 parts, so my whole life kind of just changed overnight.
However, after a while, you become desensitized to the same performances and the lack of exploration. Where mainstream films and shows would provide stability, it was the indie projects that would allow her to test her range. Films like Safety Not Guaranteed would provide an alternative to her darker on-screen persona, allowing her to showcase her skills without the pressures of a massive budget. Plaza was clearly a strong, subtle performer. Her natural temperament and piercing stare made her a solid fit for more reserved.
So you're starring in the new White Lotus, season 2 of The White Lotus.
Yes.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
I don't think I've ever met a couple that doesn't fight.
I mean, what is there to fight about anyway, right?
Wow.
In this show, I'm just a lawyer. I got to kind of, show like a more kind of non-evil side of me.
At times, more dramatic roles.
Okay, you know
You're getting paid, am I
I don't
wrong?
have the time for this. Clearly, you're a bit spoiled.
Spoiled?
Let me be frank with you.
This creative fulfillment, paired with commercial success and massive audience appeal, made her incredibly in demand.
Man, I was in the right time, in the right place, in the right jean shorts.
So you'd think surely she doesn't need to continue maintaining the awkward atmosphere or snarky attitude. But here's the thing, not only is that not the case, but it's exactly what makes her so likable.
I'm scared of myself, of what I'm capable of.
Over time, I'm sure she's grown more comfortable in the limelight, but it seems like Aubrey Plaza hasn't really changed, if at all.
I was a lucky little waitress from Queens.
She got her start with no close relatives in the industry, no prior mainstream PR training.
I don't even know what I did in that meeting. Mike sure says like, she was the weirdest person I ever met.
And no idea how to leverage connections. Even now, she's still incredibly awkward, despite her most recent roles being of a much wider variety.
I can't get fired before I start. Please don't make me say anything stupid.
These press tours of celebrities and multimillionaires often make them seem like such a far cry from us as average people. Yet she's remained incredibly grounded. Even in her monologue on SNL, you notice a bit of initial anxiety.
It is great to be here hosting Saturday Night Live.
Over the course of the skit, it seems to fade, and by the end, she's beaming with confidence.
I've dreamed my entire life of standing on the stage and saying, we've got a great show for you tonight. Sam Smith is here, so stick around and we'll be right back.
Despite the debilitating stress that comes with a stage this massive, she's able to effectively overcome it, and has done so for nearly 2 decades. There's something deeply endearing in that. Something you can't possibly help but root for.
My existence, I think just everything. No one wants to see a whole movie like that.
I do.
Okay.
I'm telling you, I'd love to see that more than anything.
And just a wonderful, sparkling personality and uniquely yourself.
I was a lucky little waitress from Queens.